You know, it's pretty incredible when you think about it, how an entire universe of meaning can be packed into just a single word. Today, we're going to see exactly that. We're going to see how one word, right at the beginning of a famous Quranic chapter, unlocks a whole theological doctrine. So yeah, let's put that first word under the microscope. So, many of us know this verse. It's the iconic opening of Surah al-Isrā, and it describes the miraculous night journey of the Prophet Muhammad. I mean, this is an absolutely mind-bending story of cosmic travel that just seems to defy all the laws of physics, time, and space. But what if the key, the very explanation for how something so impossible could even happen, isn't found in the details of the journey at all? What if it's perfectly encoded in that very first word, Subḥāna? That one word, that's the key to everything that comes after. All right, so to really get at its power, we have to put this word under a bit of a linguistic microscope. We're going to break down its origins, its grammatical structure, and figure out why it's being used in this very specific, very powerful way. Okay, so let's start at the very beginning, with its root. The word Subḥāna comes from the verb Sabbaha. Now, literally, this just means to swim or to glide. Think about a fish moving totally effortlessly through the water, or a planet gliding perfectly in its orbit. It's this beautiful picture of smooth, continuous motion, with zero obstacles and zero difficulty. So when you take that physical idea and apply it to God, it suddenly takes on this incredibly profound theological meaning. To say Subḥāna is basically to say that God is gliding effortlessly, perfectly, continuously, far, far above any flaw, any weakness, or any kind of human-like limitation you could possibly imagine. He is completely, utterly transcendent. But wait, the genius here isn't just in the word's origin. It's also baked right into its grammar. So you have to ask, why is it presented as Subḥāna, this kind of standalone noun, instead of a whole sentence like, I declare God's glory? And this is where it gets really brilliant. Grammatically, Subḥāna is what's known as an absolute object, where the verb, the action, and the subject, the doer, are intentionally dropped. So instead of tying the praise to a specific person, like I praise, or even to a specific time, the word just stands on its own. It's an explosion of praise. And what this does is it makes the declaration of God's perfection a universal, timeless, and absolute truth. It doesn't need anyone to say it, it just is. Now, this powerful way of praising God isn't just some one-off thing. It's actually part of a much bigger, much more deliberate pattern. So let's zoom out for a second and see how this one word fits into the grand scheme of the Qur'an. You see, Surah al-Isrā is one of a special family of 7 chapters, and they're known as the musabbihāt. And the cool thing is, every single one of them kicks off by declaring God's absolute perfection. They're scattered throughout the Qur'an, and each one reinforces this central theme of God's power and transcendence. But here's the million-dollar question. If they all start with the same theme, why don't they just all start with the word Subḥāna? Why would the Qur'an use 4 different grammatical versions of the exact same root word to say essentially the same thing? There has to be a reason, right? And there absolutely is. This is where the sheer genius of the language just blows you away. You see, these 4 forms, they're not repetitive or redundant. Together, they actually build a single, complete, and totally watertight doctrine of divine praise. Let's break down how this whole thing comes together. Okay, check this out. It all starts with the noun Subḥāna, which, as we saw, presents God's perfection as an absolute, timeless reality. Then you have the past tense verb Sabbaha, which frames that same perfection as something that's already happened. It's an established, completed fact. The universe has already given its testimony. Then comes the present tense verb, Yusabbiḥu, which shows that this praise is happening right now and it's always ongoing. And finally, you get the command form, Sabbih, which makes it personal. It's a direct call to action for you, the person reading, to get involved and participate in this praise. So let's put it all together now. Let's ask the questions that this system is perfectly designed to answer. First up, is God's perfection something that's already established, a fact from the past? Yes. The past tense form Sabbaha locks that in. The universe has already cast its vote. Okay, but what about right now? Is it a continuous reality, something that's always happening? Absolutely. The present tense form Yusabbiḥu shows that it is a perpetual, constant, ongoing action. So, what about our role in all this? Is it our personal duty to take part? You bet it is.
The command form Yusabbiḥu is a direct order to you. It makes it a personal responsibility.
And for the final, biggest question, beyond all this action, past and present, is his perfection an absolute independent truth that exists on its own? And here we are, full circle. Yes, the noun Subḥāna, the word that started it all, presents it as a timeless state that simply is, totally independent of us, of the universe, of everything. What we're looking at here is just pure linguistic genius. Through 4 very precise grammatical forms, an absolutely complete doctrine of divine perfection gets built, piece by piece. Every single angle you could think of, past, present, personal, and absolute, is covered. It's airtight. No angle is left unexplored. It really just goes to show you how much depth, how much meaning can be layered into the very structure of language itself. And it kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other profound secrets are hiding in plain sight, not just in the words of ancient texts, but in their very grammar?